Hi everyone, it's Tia Maretta. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, welcome. Definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to see like trucking content, informational trucking videos and things of that nature. I do lifestyle videos as well. So by the title of this video, you can already tell that I'll be discussing today the cons of the trucking industry. If you had not checked out the pros already, that should already be posted. So go ahead and check that out after you watch this video. So the first con of trucking, and what I think is the most important to consider before getting into trucking, is the fact that it is a dangerous job. Your life is going to be on the line, and I don't think enough of us that are on YouTube get into the details of what this really means. So I will today. So first things first, when I say it's dangerous and I say it's your life is on the line, I want you to consider not just, safety as a driver and being responsible, but also things like unknown terrain and weather conditions. So most of us that start driving, all new drivers pretty much start have OTR. You're driving 48 states, and for example, like the person that asked me in the comment box about them being from Florida and if they're gonna experience snow or not in your first year, you're more likely gonna experience some weather changes. So yes, snow is gonna be one of them. Okay, you could potentially end up in northern Pennsylvania during the winter. So my suggestion is consider, while you're training, let's say you are training in the summer, while you're training, just asking your trainer about different weather conditions that you have not experienced, or just talking about everything that you might be nervous about, because that's what I did to prepare myself for the winter months. Although I do live in Pennsylvania and I have experienced winter in my personal vehicle prior to driving, prior to becoming a truck driver, it is very different. I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie. And on top of that, I never really used to drive my car in the wintertime anyways in Pennsylvania. Like, I would just take my snow days at home, to be honest. So that's something, like, I don't know, you could consider and take with a grain of salt. But for that person specifically, or for anybody else that's like in that situation where you have never experienced snow or ice, or what driving in those conditions is like, that's something you want to consider. You're gonna experience the heavy winds. I've driven through 60 plus miles per hour winds in Wyoming. Okay, right now it's hurricane season. I literally just drove through pouring rain where I could not see in Houston, Texas. I've driven through a snowstorm in California where we were shut down all day because California has no snow plows, because everybody thinks California does not snow, but it really does. So you can experience different weather conditions. Also, the terrain, the unknown terrain, what I'm talking about is like back roads, what do you call them, country roads, mountains, things like that. Don't just expect highways. Sometimes the GPS gets a little GPS-ish. It is technology, it's not perfect. Sometimes your GPS gets out of service. They do provide you with a GPS on your truck, but it will go out of service in the countrysides. But sometimes, luckily, if you have a good service provider, you can use your phone. The only thing with using your phone though is that it's not going to be a trucking GPS. So there's all kinds of things you have to be mindful for, like low clearance bridges. It's just so much, and it is really honestly up to you as a driver to know how to manage your routes, manage how to control your truck in these conditions. That's really the purpose of your job, aside from getting your load from point A to point B. Considering terrains, I've driven on the West Coast primarily. I want to say for an entire 6 to 8 months of my trucking career was on the West Coast. All right, because I trained in California. My training was like on a dedicated route from Southern California up to Washington, Oregon State. And when I tell you, there were mountains that were like this. Have you ever seen that car commercial? I think it's like a famous, I don't know if it's a Mazda or Toyota commercial, where they're on this road and it's just a red car just driving on a windy road. I'm telling you, The mountains on the west are exactly like that, just steep and windy, and you know, it's a different way to drive the truck considering different conditions. I've been in places where my GPS has taken me and it was all dirt, and I was like, there is no way that my truck belongs here. But it was, you know, sometimes you have a detour, and that's the way that traffic is going to direct you, and you just have to kind of know, you know, whether it's common sense or what, because you can't just like sit there and be like, okay, I'm not going to drive because I don't know what to do. You have to make a decision, and those are things to consider. So it is a lot of responsibility, and it is very dangerous. I also want to touch on, in terms of responsibility, that you are not only responsible for that load that you're delivering, you're responsible for your safety as a driver, and you are responsible for the drivers around you. And this is a key point that I think is personally super unfair. Truckers don't get enough credit for it, and a lot of, you know, regular drivers, you know, passenger car drivers do not notice. Like once you get your CDL, you are held technically to a higher standard, whether you are driving in your semi or you're driving in a passenger vehicle. If you get pulled over and you get a ticket, it's higher than if you had a regular license, a speeding ticket, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you get in an accident, it's held at a higher standard. You know, if you run somebody over, I mean, I think anybody goes to jail if you run somebody over. I really think anybody goes to jail. But with a CDL, that's like 10 years minimum in prison, you know, all kinds of things to consider. So listen, it's not just your life in online. You have to be responsible for the drivers around you, and I think it's totally unfair, personally speaking, because you have all these like young teens that be like driving crazy. You have people, not only are they panicking when they are around a truck, they don't know how to drive next to a truck, they don't know how to pass a truck, they don't know how to cut in front of a truck, they don't know how to drive behind a truck. Yeah, like y'all be slamming y'all brakes hard, okay? Y'all be coming onto the highway slow, like, oh Lord, like I mean, I'll take y'all sticking up y'all middle fingers at me, but all the extra stuff that people be doing, you as a truck driver are responsible to not hit them, to not kill them, to not get in an accident, okay? And it's unfair, but it is what it is. Con number 2, you have little to no home time. If you watch my positions in trucking video, you kind of get an idea of what I'm gonna say right now, so definitely check that out if you haven't. Your home time varies on your position, but like I said, most of us starting in trucking will be over-the-road drivers driving 48 states. So with the company that I'm with, I do think this varies by company. You you drive for about 4 weeks over the road and you get 2 days back at home, okay? So drive for a month, and then when you request your home time to go back home to your family, if you have family, they only give you 2 days. If you want extended period, you have to speak with them about that. I know with my company, it's like if you want a full week, you have to do 7 weeks or something like that. And I also want to point out the fact that if you don't, and again, this is just with the company that I'm with, if you don't request your home time, they are not going to send you home. So currently, I've been driving, I came back into trucking in mid-June, and it is now August, and I have not touched Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania area since. Okay, I've just been on the road, I've just been driving this whole time. So that just gives you an idea of what home time is like. You really have to like work it out in advance. They say 2 weeks notice. I usually give a month's notice if I want time off. My situation is like this because I don't care for the time off. It's quarantine, like there's nothing to do anyway, so I'll just be driving. But if you have like kids and family and you need to be home often, you know, that's something you might want to consider, or definitely looking into just working out, a few months of experience over the road so that you could get a dedicated route where you could get weekend home time off. And if you're confused about OTR or dedicated, again, that's in the video that I posted previously called types of positions in trucking. Yeah, I want to highlight, if you have family or if you're like a socialite, family time and friends is gonna be scarce as a truck driver. That's just that. Number 3, so the third con of trucking that I want to cover is that you're going to be lonely. It is very lonely unless you're like team driving, like you have a partner with you or something. I talk to myself, I try to keep myself busy doing other things. I listen to a lot of podcasts, I listen to audiobooks, I listen to music, but like I said, I talk to myself. So yeah, you're gonna be in the truck by yourself. It's lonely. Number 4, your home is the truck. Okay, so like I said, regarding home time, I've been on the road for 2-3 months now, not seeing actual home. So you live on the truck. Okay, that means you're gonna shower in restrooms or showers that other truckers have used at the truck stops. Okay, you're gonna be eating over the road. You're gonna eat truck stop food, you're gonna eat fast food, things like that. You are going to gain weight. You're gonna gain weight. But truck stops do get filled with parking. Rest areas do get filled with parking. So sometimes you might just have to pull over on the side of the road, as closest as you can to a truck stop or as closest as you can to a rest area. And sometimes there's not going to be light where you're going to be sleeping. So safety is an issue. Here we go again. You just might be sleeping anywhere. But the point is, your home is this truck. So everything that you could potentially do in your home life is what you're gonna try to make within your trucking world, this box here. So if you can exercise around your truck, I don't get much exercise, but if you can exercise around your truck, you're gonna exercise around your truck. You're gonna eat nasty truck food, hot dogs. I don't be eating the hot dogs, but the fast food, sometimes there's stale grapes at the truck stop. Sometimes there's fresh grapes at the truck stop, but there's a lot of chips though that's freshly packaged. So yeah, that's truck life. That's truck life. You're gonna get fat. Number 5, the last and certainly not the least of the cons in this trucking industry is that all man is for themselves. Okay, a job is a job. At the end of the day, you are the employee and you are dealing with a corporate environment. If you don't know what that means, I'm gonna try to break it down the best I could. Sometimes you just have to suck it up and understand that you're dealing with someone on the phone that's giving you a load, that's telling you what kind of route to take and when to shut down and this and that has never landed foot on a truck. I don't know, maybe they've had a tour of what a truck looked like, maybe they've seen a sleeper cab, but they more than likely have never actually driven a truck. They don't know anything about trucking, but they tell you how to do your job, okay? And you have to understand that at the end of the day, you are responsible for you in your trucking career, regardless of the corporate assholes that are on the phone every single day. I've had many situations dealing with these clickety-clacking computer people, and yeah, I don't know how else to put it. A job is a job. They don't really care about you. I mean, there are some companies and there are some fleet managers that are going to differentiate themselves from others, that are going to do a bit more to help you, especially if you make a request responsibly and professionally, you know, certain things like that. But at the end of the day, most of these people, all they care about is your load delivered. As long as that load is delivered, they don't care what you do, they don't care how you do it, they don't care what they do and how they do it. All man is for themselves, and a job is a job. So I hope you guys like this video. That concludes you know, my list of cons. Obviously there are more cons, there are more pros than just 5, but those are the ones that I wanted to touch today, that I thought was the most important to cover. And as always, if you are a trucker and you have similar experiences, share your experiences. If you have any more cons that you might want to add, share those experiences as well in the comments. The videos that I put out are to be informative and to help others looking into this industry. So definitely like this video if it was worth it. Keep those comments rolling, and do not forget to subscribe for future content. Bye.